day, good evening, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games. Welcome to Strange Invasion. I am the aforementioned Salty.
And I'm Sweet.
And these various assorted of spices are our friends. Before we go around and talk to them, find out who they're playing, how they're feeling, all that good stuff, we have some channel announcements to get through, and we have maybe just a few extra today, so buckle in. First of all, thank you to our sponsors, the first being Roll20, a virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their Spotlight program, where they highlight indie TTRPG creators all across the internet. And we love them very much, and we're working with them on some really cool things, so. Secondly, if you prefer your dice to be physical, if you like them click-clacks and those chunky boys, we are an affiliate with the Dice Envy. You can go to their website and use the code SaltySweet, all caps one word, to get 10% off your order. They have wood, they have metal, they have gemstone, they have all sorts of cool things. They're shipping out. They have new stuff. They have some dragon ones. The blue dragon ones dropped today, and you should go get them because they are very pretty and shiny. And they have the one that I'm so excited about. I don't know if I can actually officially tell you what the name is, but I'm dying, and I want them just because of the name. But look how pretty they are. Like a delectable chocolate, but don't eat it.
And we get sneak peeks of these dice ahead of time as being part of their affiliate program, so often we drop the news on them a little early than the official news, so definitely come and check us out if you want to get the goodies about Dice Envy Dice.
Yes. And last but not least, Grinding Coffee Co., a Black and LGBTQA plus owned company. They make all organic brews. They donate a portion of their proceeds to charity. They're really awesome. They keep me fueled, thank God. I got a refill of my favorite blend, the Peru blend, and it's made me very happy. So, couple other things. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific is the premiere of Against the Stars, a Burn Bright campaign. We are now officially Roll20 Presents people, so I don't know what that means, but it's fancy.
It's super fancy.
I got to do a fancy thing. You are officially allowed to use this. I was like, thank you. Thank you. And we have awesome folks playing with us. Our friend B, our friend Sam, our friend Jess, and it's going to be a hoot. Kienna is GMing. It is going to be rad. The system's really cool, and we're excited to dive into it.
Yeah.
And do you have anything to add, Key, for that one?
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to say it's a learn-by-play situation as well. We're all going to be kind of figuring out the system together. So if you've been interested in seeing more about Burn Bright and their cool system and everything, definitely the great stream to check out, because I'll be running through everything. Because I'm teaching myself this shit too. So it'll be great. I'm really excited for it.
And the final thing, well, I always say the final thing, and then there are 3 more things, is... we at Salty Sweet Games are collabing with our friends over at Off the Table for a new podcast. It's going to be our first podcast, and I'm so excited. Let me tell you, it's going to be taking place using the Fear Itself system. And if you like Twin Peaks, if you like It, if you like Alice Isn't Dead, if you like Limetown, if you like It Follows, it is going to be so cool. There's going to be 2 stories in different timelines, but they're connected, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Basically, Off Table and Salty Sweet Games are co-producing it. Summer and Lauren are GMing the 2 different shows. I will likely be a cast member on one of them, and also doing behind-the-scenes production stuff. So it'll be really interesting. We're really excited to kind of explore this and our lovely partnership with our friends at Off the Table. So yeah, we have cast applications open right now. So please go check that out. We've retweeted it on our Twitter to go, and we're really looking for a lot of, we're looking for BIM POC people, we're looking for queer folks, we're looking for any marginalized identity and people to join us here, because it's gonna be real dope, and we're so excited to be presenting that and to be creating that. So that's gonna be the next little while for us is podcast creation.
Yes,
so
it's exciting. And last, for real this time,
for real,
we here at Salty Sweet Games use the Any Award-winning Safety Toolkit. We in particular use lines, veils, X and no cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings because while the characters, I'm going to say it right this time, the characters may be put through hell or pandemonium. Did I say that right? Or pandemonium. The players are here to have fun, and they're our priority always. So without further ado, God, let's get into it. I'm playing Dulcinea. She's an Eladrin swashbuckler who may or may not be about to murder someone. Kienna, who are you playing?
I play Ardent, the Asmar paladin, who would like their friends to not stab someone, generally speaking, but who knows? She is going to use Zone of Truth and figure out what the fuck going on.
Sure.
Also, both me and Ardent both use she/they pronouns.
Let's hop down to Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings. This is so good to be back. I'm Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and I am playing Devlin Archon, who is a dwarven angry dirt wizard, who also known as an abjurer. That's just sort of what some folks in this world call abjurers, I guess. Those who aren't too happy with them. He also uses he/him pronouns. I am very excited to be here and see what sparks off as things get more and more entangled.
Yes.
Those very particular words.
Yes, they are. Let's hop over to Gnome. Hello, Gnome.
Hello, I'm Gnome, and my pronouns and Idoso's pronouns are he and him, and he's a halfling ranger rogue of the Planewalker.
Oh, yes. Yes, how
I'm
is
excited.
Idoso feeling?
At level 7. I mean, he's probably just cold. It's cold. Also, they just had saw a purple worm, that was cool. Yeah. Also, they just totally blew up 2 more robots. And then also there's definitely some weird thing going on with Cherry, and he's not really quite sure. But okay.
Okay. And let's hand it over to our dungeon master, Allie.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome everyone back to Strange Invasion Assault on the Barrier Peaks. I'm Allyson. I will be your guide for this grim expedition to the borderlands of fantasy and weird science. Last time on Strange Invasion, our heroes devised a clever plan that sent the gargantuan purple worm, which had attacked them at the remains of the Giant's Gorge Bridge, hurtling to its death from the end of the broken bridge to the rocks hundreds of feet below. They then handily dispatched 2 of the strange knights that have been pillaging the barrier peaks of unknown origin, with fireballs from Forge Master Devlin Archon and bolts from Idoso's crossbow expertly fired. But even as the dust was settling, the suspicions of at least one of our heroes were settling on an ersatz ally, Cherry Redding, youngest daughter of the House of Redding, a dealer of information among the powerful and wealthy of the land. Something that she said sparked the suspicions of the Eladrin swashbuckler, and in the blink of an eye, Dulcie's dagger was at the young woman's throat. She gasped, and with her eyes locked on those of the Forge Master, she whispered a plea for her life. Forge Master, save me. And that is where we begin. The wind whips past you for a moment. It blows little devils of snow up around you. It's as if there's no one else but the 5 of you within 1,000 miles. And the pause is desperate.
So Devlin is going to immediately put himself out. He was burning up until this point, with a sort of a fire shield on him. He's going to drop that immediately. He's just sort of looking at looking at the dagger at the throat and just sort of looking at the two of them and thinking, okay, this is. And there are things that he's remembering, but then there are also things that he's looking at, just sort of. With these, he's had reason for suspicion to come up, and he's now looking at both of them. He's like, very, very carefully, and just sort of as this is a little drawn out thing after a pause, I'm saying, Dulcinea, what are you doing?
What needs to be done?
Why?
Dulcie, you can go ahead.
Why does it need to be done?
Oh, 'cause this ain't cherry reddin'.
No. I'm not going to contradict what you're saying here, but I did examine her earlier and found no signs of magical interference. Are you quite sure?
Yes, Forge Master.
Dulcie, you can feel her. She's trying to be still, but you can feel her shivering beneath your grasp. What are Ardent and Idoso doing at this moment? You're all nearby, within 10 or 15 feet or so.
Ardent is definitely walking forward at this point. Doesn't give away any sense of like too much urgency, but it's not a slow, relaxed walk either. It's very purposeful.
Idoso's got his crossbow just kind of like, they just finished a battle, right? So he's just kind of like slung lazily on his shoulder and just kind of staring at like Dulcinea, like, what's going on? Oh, like as she says that, right? He kind of like just like poises at a distance, just in case.
Hearing that, she turns her chin just slightly, so she's more toward you, Dulcie. She says, Dulcinea, I swear I am not involved in your complications with the Fae.
Yeah, sure you aren't. Alright.
Ardent looks over to Dulcie and then to Devlin, because they're right there. You wouldn't mind me casting, would you?
Not at all.
You
see, Devlin's actually, ever since the last thing Dulcie said, he's changed his expression slightly as another brick or two has fallen into place in his head. He's looking at both of them very suspiciously.
I will cast Zone of Truth.
Her eyes. By the way, what does that look like? I know we've seen it once before in the campaign, but remind us, is there anything visible or
I think it depends. Ardent can kind of choose whether they're trying to hide it or not. But she still has her sword in hand, considering that it just finished fighting some robots. And so she kind of puts it, her two hands on the pommel and taps the ground. And this time she's not hiding it like the last time. And you see this almost like silver threading itself and braiding. It starts to go along the ground around the group of them, and kind of starts to melt away some of that whatever remaining snow is on the dirt as it burns in its radiance, until it finally seals itself with a North Star pointing north, of course. And this is I don't have super high. I think it's DC 13. Let me check. Yeah.
This is a charisma save, and since we've established that everyone is within 15 feet of Cherry, I'd like for you all to make a charisma save.
Unless you decide that you want to.
Yeah, right.
I definitely don't make it.
No. Yikes. Ooh. No.
I'll give it a try.
Oh.
Saves.
Yeah. All right. So, of course, the good news is that Ardent knows that although Dulcie and Idoso are both affected, that Cherry is not, nor is Devlin.
Yeah, I think there's definitely like a narrowing of her four eyes at Cherry, and just watches very, very closely.
If we're to have a question and answer, might I just request that we do this without the knife?
You can request it.
She swallows hard.
Why is it necessary?
Oh, because if I let her go, she's out of here.
I'm not suggesting letting her go.
Right, but the knife is keeping her in place. Ain't that right, Cherry?
Of course. I have no doubt that you would take my life.
That's the truth.
I mean, but are you like really sure that like this is Faye stuff?
She may not be one, but she's definitely involved.
She straightens up a bit and she says, to my knowledge, the only one who's involved with the Fae in such a way is you, Dulcinea. Have you told them?
You know I haven't.
Perhaps your friends should know who it is that hunts you.
I'm sure they can put it together from context clues.
Devlin, you can see her lip quivering a bit as she says this.
Down.
Ardent is absolutely insight checking all of this. Like, if they know that their spell failed, they're definitely just like keeping a close eye on her.
Yeah, you certainly may, and anyone who likes may insight check.
No need.
I would.
No need.
I would. You just need to do so at disadvantage.
Oh, well, I'm going to use one of my advantages to cancel that out.
Okay.
I'm going to keep my disadvantage because I think Devlin would definitely be disadvantaged right now.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
Oh, fuck. A 9. Wow, these rolls today.
Wow.
do the other one. Sorry, I only did one.
Yep.
Let's see if I can get lower than a 4.
Ardent, did you make a second?
No, I canceled out with an advantage.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Of course, right. Yeah. It's hard to say whether she's being truthful or not. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. She's certainly under duress. There's something that tells you that maybe you can't believe this, but maybe you can.
I have an understanding that right now, one of us here is not as we appear. Perhaps. But I should like to find out who it is and if that is the case.
You've tested me, Forge Master. Have you tested her?
You're good. You're good.
I mean, we know that there's a lot of A around, right? Can you test all of us?
I've looked at everyone whilst the site was open. This is likely a thing I would have seen. But there are those who can circumvent it. And I say this as I'm actually looking at Dulcinea slightly as I'm saying this, a little bit more than I'm looking at Cherry. But I've been looking back and forth between the two of them very carefully as I'm saying this.
Dulcinea will tell the truth.
Sort of glance over. If you would be willing to indulge me a question.
Shoot.
Is this the first time you've held a knife to someone's throat in my presence?
In your presence?
Yes.
I genuinely can't remember.
Fair enough. Let me be more specific then. And I'm actually going to be watching, when I ask this next question, I'm going to be watching Cherry. Have you ever held a knife to my throat? A knife, a dagger, a blade, of any kind.
Are you asking that of Cherry? Sorry.
No, I'm still actually. It's one of those. I'm asking Dulcie.
Oh.
But I'm watching Cherry's.
Oh,
reaction.
I thought you were asking Cherry.
I was not.
Okay.
No.
I would glance. I'm watching Cherry's reaction to the question actually more than to the answer.
Yeah. Do you want to make another insight check with that?
Would that be okay? Am I still
definitely.
at disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and burn one of my advantages for this one. And let me find the thing. Insight. There we go. That's a 13.
Okay. She doesn't seem to respond to it at all.
Okay. All right. I'm going to glance briefly back over at Ardent, just kind of like with slight question.
I think Ardent just kind of like shakes her head to indicate that the spell didn't work on Cherry.
All right. But I just sort of glance and sort of, if assuming I picked that up properly, I'm just going to turn around and I'm just going to come back and I'm going to narrow my eyes. I'm sort of looking at Cherry for a second. All right. Actually, yeah.
Oh, no. After you. I'm thinking of doing something stupid.
Oh, great. And I'm going to just sort of, I'm just sort of very carefully studying Cherry's face. Do you have any idea what we're talking about here? Any idea whatsoever? You know something. And I understand that may be your profession, possibly. But
I know a great deal, Forge Master. I know that you all have powerful enemies, but only Dulcies are powerful enough to reach here in the Barrier Peaks.
She ain't coming here, you daft wench.
Isn't she?
No!
What is it then, and I will address this to Dulcie, what is it then that is going on, you think?
I think she's a Doppler. Sent to keep an eye on us or to kill me or both if the opportunity presented itself. I did a very... I can't say that. That's kind of a lie. It just like whatever she was about to say stops in her throat like... This isn't Cherry, and the easiest way to prove that is probably to let me kill her. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And Allie, I want to fake. I want to like do everything to the point of like convincing her that I am going to mortally stab her.
Okay, I like this. So
I'll fool the others too.
Is this would you say this is a performance check?
Yeah, this sounds like a performance to me.
Or maybe it's deception.
They are both the same for me.
Okay, well let's call it deception, shall we?
Sure.
And I would like for you to make that at disadvantage, please.
Why? Oh, is it because I'm under the effects of the zone of truth? Isn't it over yet?
No,
Nope.
it's not. It's
Okay.
not because of the zone of truth.
Oh, okay. Well, I only use one. I think I still have an advantage. Hold on. I do. I have two. So I'll use one to cancel out the disadvantage. Okay. Let's do it. 16.
Okay. What does it look like as you do this? How do you do it?
I think it's a bit... I think the reason anybody who might need to make an insight check, Allyson, would fail is because it's a bit showy. Not that she isn't showy, but like if she were gonna kill somebody, she would just start from the position she was already in because it would be easy. I think she like takes the time to like come away and then go back in.
As if you're slitting her throat.
Yeah.
That's what you're
Yeah.
sort of miming.
Yeah. I'm like all
Okay.
the way to the point that even she would think it was, like, hopefully that she would think it was about to happen before
Yeah.
actually cutting.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like for all of you, with the exception of Dulcie, all of you who can see her face, I'd like for you to make a perception check for me, please. And this is no disadvantage. Just make a regular perception check, please.
Hey, buddy!
Nice, Idoso.
Idoso's got that eagle eye on her.
Uh-huh.
He's looking right
does.
at her face.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, Devlin, yes.
He's still incredibly confused, but
Ardent.
Yep, that's about right.
Idoso and Devlin, as all of it, many things, friends, many things happen at once.
Can I just mention
Go
I
ahead.
am,
Yeah.
just for the sake of knowing it, I am reaching forward as she's doing it, and as though it's, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wait, and so that it's clear that I'm attempting to trying to stop her. But we'll see.
Yes, lovely. Many things happen at once. Devlin and Idoso, when you remember this moment, you both seem to remember a flash in Cherry's eyes as Dulcie pulled her head back as if she were going to slice her throat. And then I would like for you all to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
oh no, that's my worst.
That just
It's
seems-
actually not my worst. It's pretty close though. But why?
But, like, that seems like maybe time for advantage.
I feel as though that's the case. Yes,
Yes,
I'm
I
going to
will
use
go
an
ahead and
advantage.
use
I don't know. I like living dangerously.
Yeah.
What do we have? Let me show you.
Hey, 22.
Wow. Oh.
Not
Oh.
today. Well, that's you.
You got that
sure
24?
did.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, high five.
Take that 24.
10, a 22, a 24, and a 12. All right.
I'm smart.
Um,
I'm smart.
So let's just roll this, shall we?
Oh, shit.
Those of you who saved take 17 points of damage, of psychic damage. Those of you who didn't take the full 34 as suddenly your head is filled with pain. It's as if you have been stabbed by 1,000 ice picks in your skull, and it rocks you back. Dulcie, you made this save, right?
Yeah, I did.
So you had her grappled.
Basically.
How? Let's see. Are you able to? We're gonna roll initiative at this point.
Yes.
I want to see if you're all able to, or if you, Dulcie, are able to keep your grapple. Well, maybe you don't want to. So let's just roll initiative and see what we
Okay.
get, shall
I
we?
have advantage on initiative. Oh, it didn't roll again. Hey, that's more
where I
like
crit.
it.
All right. Somebody want to read those to me in order, please, so I can get them all
Yes,
down here?
Dulcie 24, Idoso 23 with a crit. Then just abysmal. Ardent with a 10.
Wow.
Cherry with
Call
a
out.
6. Devlin with a 5. So me, Idoso, Ardent, Cherry, Devlin.
Yes.
Ah!
Elsie, your head hurts, your heart aches. You have known sadness and depression and despair before, but this is all of those things and the worst headache you've ever had. Are you going to try to keep her grappled,
Well,
or what would you like to do?
She can break the grapple on her turn. I, however, am going to stab her now. Right. Full elf stabbies. Yes. So I'm gonna stab her. I know we're all very excited about this. I think it's just a regular thing. Does a 21 hit her?
Yes, it does.
Great. Since no one else is within 5 feet, I get the sneak attack because I'm a swashbuckler. So she'll take, 24 points of damage?
Wow.
Yes. Stab.
Your rapier pierces her in the gut, and you see her double over with the pain of the blow and push back, and blood drips from your rapier. You've wounded her deeply, and Idoso, it's your turn.
Immediately with the pain, right, he kind of like stumbles for a moment, and he's gonna like normally when he like goes to reload, again it's that like kind of like this little portal rift kind of like opens up and he's got the infinite ammo sort of thing. This time, however, though, he kind of like shifts the reloader aside a bit, and like a scope pops up, right, and it just kind of like pings a little dot onto Cherry, and that's him casting Hunter's Mark, which I've never used this entire campaign. So we're gonna Hunter's Mark this potentially possessed or weird thing that can probably do so many things, and then fire 2 right at her.
Yes.
All right. Idoso, you failed the save. Is that correct?
Big time. Yeah, your boy's got less than half health on.
All right, so make those 2 attacks, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, no.
Oh. Hey, twinsies.
21 and 15. Okay, now, would you roll a d6 for me, please?
Oh, no.
No.
Don't you hit me.
A 4. So,
Do I shoot myself?
because of the effects of this synaptic static that Cherry cast, your focus seems to come and go. You even in moments have a hard time remembering where you are or why you're there, and as a result, I need you for 1 minute here to subtract that 4 from all of your attack rolls and ability checks. And if you can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of your turn now to end the effect.
18?
Nice.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yes, that's good. So
Okay.
you're able to bring it together. As a result, though, of your confusion, that second shot, which seemed to you to be spot on, flies wide of her. The first, however, is that 17 total damage.
Oh, plus your Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, plus a d6.
Yes.
Nice.
Which is 5 to that.
17, 23. Okay.
Yes.
Ardent.
Yeah, good thing the sword's still out. Because that's coming out. I will roll the d6 ahead of time, just so I know how much I have to subtract.
Yep.
Because I failed that so bad.
Yes.
3. Okay.
Subtract 3.
Cool. Great sword of wounding. So that's a 13.
13.
And I get multi-attack, so I try again.
Hey!
Crit!
Crit!
And with that crit, I am also gonna fucking finally use Divine Smite, because I haven't done that yet. Because I keep forgetting to.
Oh my god, this is gonna be sick.
So I can do 2d8 extra damage on tap.
Double it.
With double, so that's 20 on top of that. And yeah.
It's
and actually
43.
Yep.
43 points of damage.
Yeah. Is she still alive?
She's not.
Okay, cool.
As let's describe the end of Cherry Redding, Kienna, and what does this look like before, with the Divine Smite and all of this? Why don't you just go ahead and describe it, and I'll interject.
I think
You did.
I think Ardent had been totally taken aback by this synaptic static, and like all of her eyes closed as she's trying to hold herself, and almost as if something else clicks in. You see that glow coming from her, even though they're not in their angel form, and they kind of crane up their neck, and you see like probably a bleeding nose from the intense amount of damage that psychic blow did, as she kind of wipes it away. And there's a different look to her. It's almost removed from the situation. There is no emotion to this, as with this black obsidian sword. The first slash misses, but before Cherry can finish recovering in her stance, the second one comes through, and as it makes contact, there's that flash of white blue light, that just mixing with kind of the purple black that comes from the necrotic energy of this sword, as it just carves right into her.
And there is a silence as this unfolds, and as the necrosis combines with the other wounds that you've all caused and takes Cherry's life. And as she falls, her head turns toward you, Devlin. And her voice is very faint. But you hear her say, "He is your son, Forge Master."
I'm just. Can I do a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go up to her very fast. I'm like, oh my god, it's not you, is it? Is it you?
And
Myriad.
her eyes soften, and she looks as though she's about to burst into tears, but then there's the slightest smile that comes across her face. And then she says, "Ha! No!" And she breathes and hacks up bluish purple blood and expires. And as she does, Devlin, you see her body begin to twist and melt and reform until it looks like that.
Oh.
Still showing the wounds that you all inflicted upon her. And the one that you knew as Cherry Redding is no more.
Anybody got some aspirin? I've got kind of a killer headache.
I think you see Ardent's like eyes dim back down and wipe at her nose again. Yeah. Hold on.
Dulcie's got her rapier right in Devlin's face.
He barely notices it.
Ardent's reaching out a hand to Idoso and using healing. We're healing.
We're
healing
watching,
here.
waiting, but like... Huh.
Things are happening, but I'm healing, the two of us. You're gonna get 20 HP back.
Oh, you're the best, Ardent. Thank you.
So Dulcie is brandishing her rapier at Devlin.
What are you two doing, Dulcie?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere with this one.
Why?
Secrets.
Well, I think we're at the point where we don't need to have the secrets anymore.
Tell that
Because-
to Devlin.
Oh. It's fair.
Could you maybe, like, put the sword down? Unless you think that he's one of them. You know, pointing over to the doppelgoogers.
Oh no.
Shall we trade secrets then?
After you.
I've just had this rather unfortunate suspicion confirmed. Well, I say unfortunate. Depends on how one looks at it, I suppose. Both fortune and misfortune, perhaps. You're right about her. You're right about several things. I should have listened more carefully. Aranok, whom we have been pursuing, as it turns out, is my son. I didn't know until she brought up his origin, and I only suspected. Queen and I had an encounter with each other about a century ago. I did not realize there was progeny. May I ask how you know her?
While this is happening, I'm dropping Zone of Truth. I'm not compelling the truth out of this conversation.
Yeah. I murdered one of her pets. And got away, which I think was actually the offensive part.
See. Yes, my understanding is she can be rather vindictive. Perhaps you may understand now why it is that I wish to question Aranok. Talk to him, at least some. I have no illusions of if he is beyond reason, but I must find that out first. Must.
Must you?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we'll see who's quicker on the draw then. But I feel like I know who it is.
Before we do that, would you care to fill the other two of us in as to why this is important? I have some guesses, but considering the two of you appear to be the experts on the subject, I'd rather hear it from you. And don't worry about the spell. It's gone now.
Why, what's important?
The fact that this queen is involved, that Aranok is involved, obviously had brought in some form of gestures to the Doppler's body. Spy upon us. This is clearly some form of impact on what we're doing out here, and I'd rather know from the two of you what that is and what it could mean for us.
Well, she's trying to get at whatever's up there, isn't she?
Yes. It's clear she wants to reach it first. Her plan, I do not know.
And so I'm guessing that she sent her son out to figure that out. And then kept a spy on us to make sure that she knew where we were.
Now, we only know the extent of her involvement, truly, from what this one, he says, pointing to the doppelganger's body, has said. We don't know how much of that we can trust.
Well,
For all we know, he's doing this on his own.
What little information we have. And again, considering that this one was following us, I'm more inclined to be suspicious that it's because of the more powerful person than a rogue one.
Fair. Just trying to determine why they would. Perhaps there was to trap us in the pandemonium. I think that was why she was issuing us toward the portal. Or did she genuinely want us to follow the other party?
We have other ways. We have other ways across, don't we?
We do, but the horses don't.
Could Olis just travel by foot?
Not up there, at least not from what I remember from Lady Barrelhelm. Is that right, Allie? Am I remembering right? Like, going by foot is kind of a suicide mission.
Yeah, what you know, both from Lady Barrelhelm and also Devlin from your familiarity with these lands, is that there are other routes north of the Rindereth, but they are, from where you are today, they're an additional week, maybe 10 days, depending on the weather around. You also know that from this point northward, the weather is likely to be bad enough that without the gear that you've brought with you, cold weather gear, the tents, the climbing gear, and all of that, it's like climbing into the Himalayas with your winter jacket.
Right.
You need the gear to be able to survive.
I think. I pull out the sheet of the parchment that we found there. Well, I think we might at least be able to get across if we figure out what this means. It was left behind, but maybe it was left behind to help her. I'm not sure. And I take it out.
Yes. You all have the parchment in your handouts, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I point to the kind of handwritten stuff at the bottom. I think... Oh, here's a question. We found this on a tree, so there is vegetation there.
Yes, there is in fact a forest.
Okay.
What both Dulcie and Idoso saw, you went through the portal and you were on this bridge. It was dark. The chasm beneath you seemed bottomless. But in front of you, where in your world, in the prime material plane, there was the bridge just crossed the gorge and continued. It was as if there were a forest on the bridge. And it was that was where you found this. You found it nailed to a tree just on the edge of that thick forest that is on the bridge itself. Idoso, you went far enough to take it, and from its edge, as you peered into it, it appeared as though it was like you were looking through a door into a wide forest. How such a thing could exist on this bridge in the middle of a bottomless chasm? Chalk it up to pandemonium, I suppose. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's kind of it's either a cipher and it actually says something related to the plants on here, or it's a map. Like a kind of point A to point B to point C kind of deal. With the vegetation as markers, but I'm not sure which.
What if the vegetation markers, but like the rope is a specific length, and the length of the rope that was originally attached to the tree is where you have to get to?
It's interesting that, what is it, whatever that acronym is, I'm pretty sure it's not what you shouted, but...
Definitely, it is what I shouted, and you should probably memorize that.
Right.
It's close.
It's interesting that it's on...
Well, you would know, wouldn't you?
It's interesting. It's on one of the leaves, specifically. Yeah, like Ardent is just going past it. Ardent is like, nope, 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 nope.
Idoso's just gonna pat Devlin.
And just go. It's interesting. It's on the shadow birch, specifically that leaf. Seems like an odd place to put a very specific phrase.
Yeah.
Devlin, make a history check,
Sure.
please, if you will.
Histoire.
Seems wrong.
It does, doesn't it?
It just seems wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not a for Devlin at least. You can't quite remember where you heard this, why you know it, but you remember that the palace of the Queen of Air and Darkness in Pandemonium itself has within its walls a grove of shadow birch trees.
Ooh. Oh, well,
And
I think I know how I know.
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
yeah, and that the tree itself is in some parts of the outer planes is symbolic of the lady.
It is, I think that's one of her favorite plants, if I recall correctly. I think she is said to keep a grove of it at her palace, and it's associated with her. The shadow birch.
Well, okay. If we solve a puzzle, let's just solve the damn puzzle. Those things at the bottom, I think, represent different ones of the plants, right? I just can't tell which is... Do you see the markings at the bottom?
Yeah.
I think those represent different ones of these things.
Oh.
But I have a hard time figuring out exactly which is which.
I suspect the leafy one might be the shadow birch.
Could I can't figure it out on my own, but can Idoso, who is a ranger, be able to maybe roll something to see if it looks like he could kind of decipher, like, oh, this looks a little more like this. This one looks more like the pinecone one. And
yeah, why don't you make an intelligence check? Just a straight intelligence check.
Balls.
No.
Just...
Nope.
If I was to make a guess, yeah. So the one that looks just like a plain leaf, I think, is the shadow birch.
Mm-hmm.
The one with the that's straight with the sticks sticking out of it, in 3 sets of pairs, seems to be the mephitic cedar. The one that's the I'm still trying to figure out the other ones, but I think so the curved one with the like the arc with the smaller arcs underneath.
Oh yeah.
I'm
think the curvy one might be
It
the
seems
beach
like
bolt.
It seemed like a pine cone.
That's true.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, that's a good call. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that
the
does
one that
kind
looks
of
like
look
a
like
U.
Uh-huh.
I think the one that looks like a U might be the beach wilt because of that leaf that's coming off of it, or a thing that's coming off of it.
Yeah.
And it's two-pronged.
Yeah.
And that leaves that
The
pointy.
front-
That
Yeah.
what is that?
The
Make this
venom
bigger.
hawthorn. Oh yeah, it's thorns.
Thorns.
The triangle is thorns. So
I'm down to clown.
So it'd be it'd be venom hawthorn.
Shadow
which-
birch.
Yeah, shadow birch, cedar,
Uh-huh.
shadow birch again.
Beech wilt. Hawthorn.
Hawthorn,
Hemlock. Shadow birch.
shadow birch.
Hemlock. And
And the other thing is that whether these are the order of trees or numbers.
oh right, because they have
There's
numbers.
a 2, 1, and 3 at the end, and there's figure numbers to each of them.
Right. Well, either way,
Yeah.
it looks like we're going back in.
I mean, the numbers are at the end, and that's just the page number of the book. It's a different color.
If it's a different color, then could be true. I guess we try out the tree order first, and then if that doesn't work, we find way to apply numbers, I suppose.
The horses sort of stomp and whinny just slightly up the rise to your right. The wind continues to blow. There's no one nearby.
Well, unless we're stopping to do anything else, we might as well be on our way. All right, I'm gonna go gather the horses. Gonna go gather
Right.
the horses.
But they're all right there. You're just a few steps from where you're standing. So what are you doing? Tell me how this goes.
I guess we're
Going to the portal. We're going to the portal.
and then go from there.
Yep.
All right.
Guess we just leave the doppelganger's body to.
Huh.
Maybe we should leave a note.
The bridge people seem safe because they're not around here.
I guess, is there a point to searching the doppelganger's body? Is that
Is it wearing clothes?
a thing we do in this game? Yeah, no,
It
it's
is-
not wearing clothes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not. It's not. Nor did it seem to be carrying anything.
Okay.
Need to burn it. I've got. I'm just going to aim a bolt of fire at it, which is a cantrip for me. No. I just sort of look up at the sky as it's happening. I'm just sort of looking around, and I just sort of mutter toward the skyward. I don't know if anyone hears this, but I just sort of say, "I suppose you think this is funny."
And the corpse bursts into flame, and the smoke whips up in spirals teased by the wind into the gray sky as you mount. You ride out onto the bridge, and it's clear that it suffered for the massive weight of the purple worm that you let out onto it. It's canted a bit to the south as you ride, but it feels steady. And Ardent, from your place at the lead of the column, you are now directly in front of what feels to you like a step into thin air, but where you know this portal to lie. And as you move your head, as your four eyes look around it, you can even see in the air a bit of a shimmer once in a while where it is. Are you going through?
I guess so.
All right.
Yeah.
You spur your horse onward, and it unsurprisingly hesitates for just a moment before moving forward. And you see the world around you disappear, and you, one by one, find yourself on a bridge that looks remarkably like the one that you just left, except it's intact. It crosses this near bottomless chasm, and there, 75 feet in front of you, is the forest. And as you ride closer, you can see the tree, the nail. Idoso, it's here now that you're back and now that you're close, that you see that the tree where you found the parchment and the rope it has thin, needle-sharp thorns on its branches. It is a venin hawthorn tree.
Teamwork, doing things together, it's teamwork. I think as we step through the portal, I think Dulcie's hair changes from the kind of like white blonde to a more golden color. Her brown eyes get warmer and have flecks of red in them, and it's almost like she's gotten just a bit more sun as like freckles pop out on her nose. And I think she's in her summer form now. Definitely, I like to think of it as the angry one.
Yeah, I think Ardent definitely like raises a brow upon the appearance of this new form. Different mood, huh?
Yes, different mood.
Others of you see as well. It's as if she shines a bit, even in this dark place. The glint of the summer sun in her hair. So you have all arrived at this tree, and you see exactly what I described for Idoso a few moments ago. It is as if where the bridge ends, although it doesn't, it still appears to be hanging over this deep chasm. But it opens up. There's forest, there's trees rooted in the bridge itself, but then somehow the boards of the bridge fade into solid ground, apparently. And there are trees all around you. It is a very a thick wood. If it were any thicker, it would be almost impossible to ride your horses through. But as it is, at least as far as you can see, you will be able to pass.
I think with like the glut of trees that it's here, Ardent looks behind towards Idoso. You've got that rope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take it off.
There's a lot of trees. There's going to be a lot of the ones that we have written down or noted. I'm going to guess we can start eliminating them by which ones are within reach of this rope, starting from the starting point.
We'll go ahead and loop it back onto the nail or whatever the hook had been there.
And in fact, that one of the loose ends, there's even a loop that's been tied in it about an inch around or so. Slips right over the nail.
If the hawthorn is the starting point, I see that might be reflected in the symbols down below. So shadow birch might be next.
Let's find a shadow birch within reach.
Within reach.
How are you doing this? Are you staying together? Are you splitting out to be able to...
I don't think there's any need to really split out when it's just the one rope that's measuring stuff.
Yeah.
Who wants to go? Maybe, someone should be up front, though. Probably either me or Idoso to look. To perceive. Although if we're all together, maybe we can all look. Right, Allie? We can all look.
We can all look.
Just perfectly centered for a nice, juicy fireball.
What the fuck is that? Sorry. Switch over here. You rolled a 1 on a D100? Tommy's gonna be so mad. Tommy's gonna be furious.
Yes. Well, you begin looking, and it's not long before you find a shadow birch. In fact, there are, if you're looking just within the length of the rope, there are at least dozens.
Is there one with a nail sticking out of it? Or any other kind of marker?
No, you look very closely for such things. It's dark, and these are strange woods, but you don't find any more nails.
What are we missing?
So there are dozens of them. The closest is probably only 10 or 12 feet away from the hawthorn.
I'm looking for ones that look specifically like end to end, as much as possible, like just reaching kind of idea, no slack in the middle.
Yeah. So, Ardent, it is... Make an Arcana check for me, please.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
I'm definitely good at those. I'm going to use an advantage.
Okay. Yeah. Do you still want to use the advantage?
Yes,
We'll see
I
if you
will.
crit it. Okay. There's something odd about this rope. It's not even really rope per se. It's more like twine. It's very thin. And there's something odd about its length. It doesn't seem to maintain a constant length. It's not as though it stretches either. Sometimes it seems like it's 100 feet long, and other times like it could be 500 feet long.
There's something about this rope. It's not a constant length. I wonder if we just commit to one and just wind our way through. Maybe it's not a linear thing.
We can always retrace our steps since we have
That's
the
true.
rope. about we try the closest then of each?
Yeah. So we'll start going that pattern that we have sussed out with whatever's closest. We're not really discerning otherwise, and just kind of maybe like wrap around the tree once, or like touch along it as we go along.
Yeah. You make your way back to the initial hawthorn and then to the first shadow birch. And it is, it's off at a sort of a 45-degree angle off of the path that you would imagine if you were to just go straight through this woods and come out on the other side. It's off at an angle. You have to search for quite a while. It takes you 15 or 20 minutes after that to find the first cedar tree. This mephitic cedar appears to be very rare, at least in this part of the woods. But when you find it, you loop around. And then cutting back across your path to the next birch and so forth. You weave a zigzagging path through the woods. And it's an hour. An hour has passed by the time you find the first hemlock. You're 3 from the end now. It's cold, but the trees are thick and they block the wind. A bit of a sleet has begun to fall. It's freezing rain falling sloppily through the trees, and your horses shiver. You can see their breath rising up. But then a zigzag back to one last birch. And then you look, and you begin looking for that last hemlock tree. It's very difficult for you to find. It takes another hour, perhaps a bit more, but eventually you see its top up above the other trees around it. You make your way to it, and as you do, you see the forest beginning to clear out. And there on that last hemlock, you find a nail. And you see through the thinning trees, you see gray sky and a bridge.
Good.
Well, looks like we got our way through. It looks to Dulcie and Idoso, the two of them being like the experts of
Dulcie
does
looks
this
at
look
Idoso.
okay?
I've never been here before.
Right, no, do you see a portal though?
Oh, yeah, portal. I already used my ability to see it. I can't.
Well,
Raiders, as you're working through that, Raiders, welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Hey,
This
friends.
is Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks. It is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons homage to the 2nd edition D&D classic fantasy meets weird science module called Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Our heroes have just navigated their way through a slice of the plain of pandemonium using a cipher on an old piece of parchment that they found, and may be just about to emerge from a portal into somewhere.
We did puzzle solving.
We did. All right. So if we
So
can't,
Idoso, you were checking to see if there was a portal here, I think, yes?
Well, I mean, yes, but I need a short rest.
well, let's Let's short rest.
You want a short rest for a little bit? I mean, it's cold. We've been like looking for these trees for like hours. It's sleeting out. You could also burn like a hit die and get back up to full health. You know, a little short rest.
I'll probably do that.
Might
too.
do us a bit good.
Yeah.
You can take a stab also at detecting magic if that will help.
Might be good.
Yeah, we've had some time. I figure, if I take like 10 minutes and just do that.
Sure. Yeah, it certainly wouldn't hurt. I don't think you'd be able to detect the presence of a portal in the way that Idoso can, but...
Yeah.
But
Might
there's
as well
other magics and
might as
danger.
well
you might
see
be-
what other bullshit is around
Yeah,
here.
right? Before we really settle down for an hour.
You're just on the borderlands of the plane of pandemonium. What's the harm in stopping for an hour or two?
Oh, I don't want to. I hate resting in anywhere, even Feywild adjacent. But that's fine. We need to actually find the portal, so we might. Oh, damn it. Sure, fine, yes.
Also
Alright.
hit points
Also hit points.
that aren't gonna burn spells to get hit points.
Yes. Spell.
Well, far be it from me to make meta suggestions, but you could just spend the night here. if you
No,
want. Have all of
no,
your
get
gear.
out. Nobody's listening to you, Allison.
All right.
Hey.
So go ahead and take your short rests, and then just describe for me, each one of you, how it is that you spend this time. Ardent, what does Ardent do for these moments here on the edge of the wood, under the cover of a rimy hemlock in the sleet, the border of pandemonium? How does Ardent spend their time?
I think that it's a lot of like just meditation at this point. Like I don't think they've gone into that weird space of basically dissociation in a long time, and they kind of have to recollect themselves and like make sure that she's back to herself in some way. That is the form that the Avenging Angel has taken whenever battle has occurred. And while it's very powerful and useful, it's not the healthiest mentally. And so it's had to kind of take that moment to kind of just like ground herself to this moment and to what's going on.
Okay, good. Idoso, what about you? How do you spend this brief respite?
Well, I think because he's looking, like he wants to look for the portal. I think he's gonna take the time to, for once, probably he's just quiet, right? Trying to like really, pandemonium's weird, and it's an unfamiliar place. So I think he's just trying to let his magic connect with this realm in the way that he's been able to connect with other realms.
Good. Devlin, the Forge Master has been through a great deal today. How do you spend your brief rest?
Self-recrimination, I think, is the primary thing that happens. But he's also going to. He's going to. I mean, some of it he will spend resting because I have a thing that I can do once per short rest. Well, I do once per long rest, but when I take a short rest in that time, I can recover some spell slots. But I think that he will also at some point he will be casting if he can focus on it, he will cast he will ritual cast detect magic so at some point so that he can see what's what around here, if anything.
Yeah, good. In short, what you discover is that the rope that you use to mark the path through this strange wood is, of course, magical. That comes as little surprise to you based on what Ardent shared with you. Other than that, though, this could be almost any wood in your world. The trees are a bit strange, but unfamiliar. Otherwise, it doesn't seem all that different from some parts of the peaks and the surrounds that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Okay. You do, however, as you're collecting yourself and sitting down, you find that something has become lodged in your boot in the way that a blowing leaf might find its way into the top of your boot. In fact, that's what you think at first. But when you pull it out, you find it's a thin sheet of a greenish film. It's just a bit tacky. And yeah, in fact, it's as you inspect it, it seems as though there might even be some kind of a clear coating, a thin clear coating for our viewers that and those that have joined us just recently. There are all kinds of alien artifacts scattered throughout these lands, and our viewers can gift them to the players. That happened for Devlin in our last episode. I'll share this information with you in chat, Devlin. What you found is a water-breathing sheet. And after you study it for a while, you'll learn that it's a single-use item, that it can be, if you tear off that protective sheet and place it over your mouth and nose, you can breathe underwater as if it were normal air for, I think it's 10 hours. So I'll share the information on that with you, but I wanted to make sure that we had that out this episode. And Dulcie, how does Dulcie spend her time in Pandemonium, so much closer to the Queen of Air and Darkness than you had ever hoped to get again, I think?
Sitting cross-legged on the ground, flipping my daggers, looking at Devlin.
You sit for a few moments and do exactly that. But it's not long before you begin to feel drowsy. And
no, I don't. I cannot. Magic can't put me to sleep. Magic can't put me to sleep. Magic cannot put me to sleep.
No, not magic at all. Just the exhaustion.
Nope.
Of
I have
very,
my full
very
hit
busy
points.
day.
Nope.
All right. Well,
Sorry, Allie.
Dulcinea,
I'll be sleepy if you want me to be sleepy.
you have to sleep sometime, my dear.
No, I don't. I meditate. I don't even sleep. Boom.
Okay. But you're not meditating now.
No.
All right, then.
Where's my rules lawyer hat? Let me just grab that.
As Dulcie flips her daggers and stares daggers at Devlin, here on the frontier of the plane of Pandemonium, with the clock ticking and their adversaries now perhaps far ahead of them in the quest to determine the source of these attacks on the barrier peaks and end them, and to reach whatever source of power they have heard rumors is there that the Queen herself is seeking. I think that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, thing.
I don't know why you would say that at all.
It's just that screenshot of uh-oh, I'm in danger.
In danger. No! I mean, yay! Okay. Let's go around. And you lead it off, Allie. You're so good at that.
Yes, let's go around and hear a little bit from each of our players. What a tense situation you all found yourselves in tonight, but you managed to extract yourselves from it expertly and solve the puzzle. It was I loved watching you solve the puzzle. Anyway, first, let's Gnome, let's start with you. How are you doing? How's Idoso doing here?
It's confusing.
Talk to me.
And exciting, but also confusing. People have so many secrets. Why do you all have so many secrets?
Idoso and Ardent are just here being like,
right! This is detracting from, I think, what we were supposed to be doing. He doesn't know anymore.
Yeah.
Also, Dulcinea, you killed a pet? Ooh.
No, it was like no, not like a literal pet. Not like an animal.
Oh.
no, not like an animal, like a human.
Like a pet.
Well,
Like a
that's
person.
much better.
Yeah, it's much better.
Humanoids are fair game, but a dog?
No,
Oh,
it was a
not
quickling.
friends anymore.
It was a little quickling.
So a humanoid.
Yeah.
Not an animal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Things you can only say in TTRPGs.
Good God.
Well, I wouldn't want any of us to be confused about where we can find you on the internet and what you are up to these days. So why don't you share those things with us? That sounds good.
Hi. Yeah, I can also do that. But we can just talk about the game too. That's fine. But I'm known. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Nomadic. I do all sorts of TTRPG things. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow, you catch me on Open for Adventure. I'm in a homebrew 5th edition game run by Sombrero, and I get to play an Etten. And I play both heads. I love it so much. It is a dream come true, let me tell you. I love it.
That's pretty amazing. That is amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Jim. Jim. Oh, Jim. Well, you asked for it, my friend.
I did, didn't I?
How's give us the scoop on Devlin Archon and his emotional state at this difficult hour.
Yeah, he's kind of been turning things over in his head a lot recently. It's very much, he always sort of internalizes these things, and so there's rather a lot of turmoil going on as he's just basically things aren't. There were things that he suspected were going on that aren't quite going on, and so he was relieved at that. But he's now faced with like an impossible choice because he wants he feels a certain responsibility. That he has two responsibilities, and he wants at the first he needs to know what the deal is with his son, whom he has just had confirmed that it is in fact his son, and but at the same time he doesn't want Dulcie to get hurt. So it's and he understands why it is that she wants to stamp out anyone coming after her. So it's a very difficult and precarious situation, and it's all his fault as far as he's concerned.
Well, it's very difficult for Devlin, but it is delicious for us to get to watch and experience together. Jim, where can we find you, and what's something that you're super proud of that you're working on today?
Well, right now, I'm kind of cutting back on a lot of the individual streaming that I'm doing. I've got kind of a medical thing going on, and I need to take care of that and make sure we're okay. So at the moment, right now, the only continuing stream I have going on my channel, which is Otherdoc, OTHERDOC, you can find on Sunday nights when I'm physically able. Sunday nights, we are doing a campaign of Dark Matter. That's the not the Alternity Dark Matter, but the Mage Hand Press Dark Matter. That is a sort of space fantasy type deal, and that's been a lot of fun. We are it is GM'd by Alyssa, who is our station master, as she's calling herself for this, and there I'm playing the only human in the group, but who also has similar things in his past that he regrets. For some reason, I feel as though it's a trend. But in his case, most of the things were done to him, so that's it's perhaps not as much of a burden. But that's a lot of fun. So looking forward to continuing with that. Aside from that, I'm just here on Monday nights. There'll be more stuff I've got going on in the near future, hopefully. But I gotta make sure everything's okay. So that's what we're doing. Apparently, there's this self-care thing I'm supposed to be doing. I'm looking into that. But this has been glorious, and I can't wait till next week.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jim. I will say my piece before passing it back to our host tonight. Oh gosh, we've been building up for this one for a long time. It was so much fun, and I will tell you, we'll talk about it in our after chat. But you are so lucky that Dulcie did what she did, because it could have been so much worse. Oh, it could have been so much worse. So, well, I'll save all that for another day, I suppose. So much fun. I am Allyson. You can find me on Twitter at Allyson Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. Catch me here on the channel on Saturday mornings at 9 Pacific, noon Eastern for Masks of Nyarlathotep, our Call of Cthulhu, Pulp Cthulhu campaign that is run by Lauren herself. She has us in the English countryside. It's 1925, and I think we've just discovered that the lovely young daughter of the noble family is a werewolf, maybe?
Why
is
did
a werewolf,
you think
maybe?
That?
It's signs point to yes. But if like cosmic horror, Indiana Jones, that kind of stuff is your thing, you'll want to join us on Saturdays for that. I love it. And I love getting to do this with all of you. Thank you to our players, our hosts, our viewers, everyone. I will see you next time.
Okay, Key, any personal
Yes, please,
stuff?
Yeah, I'm Kienna. I'm the Swede of the channel. Y'all can find me over on Twitter at KiennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. When I'm not on the channel, I'm mostly just here though. The big thing I'll plug is, of course, tomorrow is the premiere of Against the Stars, our brand new Burn Bright campaign, which I am GMing. It's gonna be real exciting. We have partners with Roll20. We are officially doing a Roll20 presented production of this, and it's all going to be for charity as well. So all of our donations go to Code 2040 as part of the Roll20 Totify campaign for them. So it's going to be super cool. And because of that, we're also going to be experimenting with some cool new audience interaction stuff, which includes, donation goals where you get to add complications to the story, and social goals, so that search and retweets. We get to move a faction forward, and y'all get to vote on which faction gets to move forward in their schemes within the Alexis galaxy, perhaps under the noses of our wonderful crew of the Wicked Wallaby. So definitely tune in for that tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's gonna be real dope. But yeah, what about you, Lauren?
Hey everyone, I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on the Twitter. Personal stuff I want to plug besides tomorrow night, which is very exciting, is we have begun taking cast applications for a new podcast. It's going to be in the Fear Itself Gumshoe system. If you like Twin Peaks, if you like if you like It Follows, which is a different thing, you should definitely check it out. We are compensating our cast for that just like we do for all of our shows here. We are really excited to be embarking on this project with our friends over at Off the Table, and should be a lot of fun. There's a tweet about it. We'll probably tweet about it after Burn Bright is over with. And you can also catch me on Roll For It Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific for a few more weeks as I get all painted pink and play my tiefling lore bard temper with that crew. It's a lot of fun. It's a great, great world, and yeah, it's gonna be super cool. Let's just run through channel stuff real quick. Thank you, Roll20. Thank you, Dice Envy. Thank you, Grinding Coffee Co. I have finished my coffee, and it was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Yum.
Again, thank you to everyone who has supported us, whether through donations or merch stuff or subs or whatever else. Again, you're helping to keep the lights on here at Salt Street Games, and also to help pay our cast, because we believe in compensating them for the time, energy, and love that they share with us while here on the channel. If you ever miss an episode, well, why don't we watch one? We've got a YouTube channel. We upload VODs there. I basically kind of tend to do them midweek, so you'll kind of just get them when I have time to put them in. But you'll be able to see all of our archives of our past shows there. And specifically for Burn Bright, you also see it on the Roll20 YouTube channel as well. If you want to keep up with us when we go live, please go follow us on Twitter. We tweet out when we do our regular series, when we do one-shots, so when we do our occasional video game streams. We will be back tomorrow for Burn Bright, of course. Then on Saturday for Pulp Cthulhu, Sunday for The Witcher, and of course back here next Monday for another installment of Strange Invasion Assault on the Berry Peaks. We're going to raid a friend, so please stick around and chat. Spam that hype emote if you got it. If you don't, just spam some hearts for luck from Awesome Salt Street Games. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and we'll see ya next time.
Wave bye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.